In part 1, we looked at how you get from the Bay Run down to the railway line. That's essentially along the green part of the Greenway. Part 2 is going to look at how we get from the railway line down to the Cooks River. Now this map can be a little bit confusing at times because it shows a couple of things. The first thing is it shows you with the dotted blue line to the left of the railway line what the route looks like today. But it also has this red dotted line of what the proposed route is in the future. Now you have to ignore that because construction hasn't started on that yet. So what we're going to look at here is essentially where Lewisham West is. We're going to follow that dotted blue line going down the hill on the left hand side, and what you'll see is there's actually another dotted blue line with the arrows going up. That's the way you come back up the hill from the Cooks River. We're not going to cover that in this part, and just ignore it for now. Now we exit the Greenway through this car park and we're going to end up on Grosvenor Crescent. Now one thing you've got to do is have a good solid look up to the right. There's often parked cars blocking your sight lines, and people do have a habit of driving down here fairly quickly, so have a good look and make sure there's nothing coming. Now there's two ways you can go around this bend. Obviously I'm going to take the road, but if you don't feel too comfortable you can jump on the footpath and cross over the roundabout that way at the top of the hill. Now the day I went through there was almost no traffic, it was pretty cruisy, but that's not always the case. Every now and then this road absolutely just goes chock-a-block solid with traffic and it's not moving, and I'm not going to recommend you do this, but what I'll do is just cut through the traffic to get through here because it can be pretty screwball. Now I've probably been through here sometime between, I don't know, 500 and 1,000 times, and I have had a few instances going through this roundabout where people coming from the left have failed to give way. So really eyeball them and make sure they're going to stop for you. So we go through the roundabout, pop out the other side, and you're at the old, what are they, wheat silos or whatever. And we can have a look around here. We'll just do a little detour and look at some of the features. Now this isn't the recommended route, but when this map was drawn up, this was a derelict flour mill. So this road really didn't exist. Now, I just noticed this coffee cart here when I came through. I haven't tried it, but it's there some days. I don't know what days. This was on a Saturday. The flour mill markets are held in that square every 2 weeks. In fact, it's going to be on again today, Sunday the 18th of October. Let's just duck over the tram line and have a look at what's on the other side because, well, you might be interested in popping over here. And of course this is a way you can head further east as well. There's a cafe here called Cafe Moulin. It's got some bike racks out the front, like everything in the inner west seems to have. Might have nice pastries, who knows. Now I never used to ride up this road because it was badly chopped up by all the construction work. And the reason I showed those signs there is they're pointing you in the wrong direction. You actually want to turn right there and come up this street, and you can see the signs are then pointing in the correct direction. So we just did that little red dog leg through the flour mill. You could also do the orange leg, there's nothing to stop you doing that. And all those roads lead to Rome essentially. So we come down here, and this is a tough road to get across for both us and drivers because there's always parked cars there that block your sight line up to the right. And you can see what I've done is I've pulled out well beyond the stop line to actually see what's coming down the hill there. Now to help you get across, there's this little refuge. It's fine, I think, if you're on your own or a couple of confident cyclists. I shudder with horror at trying to do that with kids on a busy day. That would just be terrible. This is a pretty awful old concrete road. You can see that I'm riding on the concrete rather than the bitumen to the left in the parking lane. Yes, you can get doored along here, and that bitumen section is pretty awful. Now, I just noticed I actually went past where I was supposed to turn to use the right or the proper part of the Greenway. And the reason I missed it is there's this rather kind of faded sign here saying we're supposed to go down to Johnson Park. Now, so I went round and, oh look, there's a curb. There's no ramp there to actually use that path. So, pedestrians only, I guess. Keep on going up the hill, and I always prefer to go this way anyway because at the top of this hill at this roundabout is this nice cafe called Sideways. And if you've never tried it, I do suggest you give it a go. I'm not shilling for them, they're not paying me for this. Essentially I just took that red line there. I can understand what they're trying to do with the design of the Greenway. They want to use as much of the green as possible, so they send you down to Johnson Park, and that's where the future route is going to go anyway. Now there's no bike parking here unfortunately. You just lean up wherever you can. The food's good, the coffee's nice, and I was rather nasty to this dog, showing him my chicken burger. So from here we just keep going straight, nice smooth road. Not a lot of traffic on it. Again, you can get doored along here, so just be careful. And when we get up to this intersection, just be careful of cars turning rapidly into the street without really looking. This is a shared path along here, but the really dangerous bit actually, funnily enough, is this bus stop, because they've got advertising on it and you can't see people sitting there. Now you can see her because she's, you can see her legs poking out at the bottom, but that is a spot where you can actually have a collision with a pedestrian getting out of the bus stop. So we go up the hill and we turn left. It's a rough old piece of road going down here, but from here it's pretty much straight down the hill to the Cooks River. The only catch is these stride streets that come in from the left and the right, and the reason I'm going at normal speed here is these are really risky, because drivers pop out of these side streets without stopping, and there are stop signs, they are supposed to stop. I've actually had a police car come out from the right there without stopping and only pulling up at the last minute when they saw me coming down the hill. Again, there's poor sight lines from this road on the left, again because of parked cars. Be on the brakes, keep your speed down, really watch out for drivers, eyeball them. If it looks like they're not going to stop for you, for goodness sake, stop. So we keep on going along here. Now, because of the bridge replacement, normally would turn left here to get onto the bridge to go down to Mascot, etc. But there's a detour in place. Congratulations, now at the Cooks River. Here's the new bridge under construction. It's going to open up in November, so once that opens, I'll do another part which will show how to get down to Botany Bay and the airport. There you go, there's part 2. You've now made it all the way to the Cooks River. Congratulations.